Hey everyone, winter is coming and snow comes with it. I hope everyone liked this episode's ending just like me. And finally our 10 months discussion has come to an end. Here's my recap for home, and spoiler warning if you haven't seen this episode yet. Through Bran's visions we get to see the happier times of Winterfell, when Ned Stark and Benjen were all young. Back then Hodor was called Willis and he could speak well. Well, technically it is his real name. But still, they didn't explain the incident which caused his impairment to speak. As Ned and Benjen are practicing with their wooden swords, the Queen of Love and Beauty shows up. This is a surprise for me. I didn't expect her in this flashback scene. All this time, the show only described her as a beautiful woman. The other characters didn't talk about her tomboyish nature. But in this episode, Lyanna herself reveals the wolf touch. She shows off her writing skills, talks about sparring, and in fact, she didn't even act like a lady. That's why in the books, Ned describes his daughter Arya as a resemblance of his sister. We check in with Meera outside the cave. She has zero interest in watching Bran having all these visions. She doesn't even want to stay in the cave. However, Leaf, Child of the Forest, reassures her that she is needed. It appears they recast the actress who plays the Child of the Forest, and they did some changes in the makeup. In Castle Black, things did go well. Ed arrived right on time with the Wildlings just before the mutineers finished breaking down the door. Sir Alliser Thorne commands his men to attack the Wildlings, but they were all scared and outnumbered. Everyone dropped their swords when one smeared the wall with a guy who shot him with a crossbow. Ed orders to put Alliser Thorne and his followers in prison. In King's Landing, Jaime confronts the High Sparrow. He draws his knife out, but he knows the Faith Militant would beat him to death if he struck him. The High Sparrow is correct. With the help of the masses, he can overthrow an empire. The common people can be manipulated easily against their lords and ladies, especially when they are starving during winter. After getting some advice from Jaime, Tommen visits his mother to apologize for not saving her. In Meereen, Tyrion visits the dungeon to unchain the dragons, introduces himself as a friend and helper, and begs them not to eat the help. He shares his story of how he wanted a dragon for his name day as a way to get close and unchain them. In Braavos, Waif shows up and starts to beat Arya in the name of training, and suddenly she disappears. Jaqen steps in and starts asking some tempting questions to test her identity. She answered no one for all of the questions. Satisfied with her response, he invites her back to the House of Black and White to continue the training. In Winterfell, Roose, new Lord Karstark, and Ramsay are discussing the situation in the north. They were interrupted when the Maester brought the news of the baby's birth, a true-born Bolton heir. Roose threatening Ramsay is the worst idea after Ned Stark revealed his plans to Cersei. Ramsay quickly kills his father and gets his claim on Winterfell. Roose deserves this for after all the things he did to the Starks. We knew this was coming. They already foreshadowed this moment last season when Sansa stimulated Ramsay about his illegitimacy. The worst part is that Ramsay offered Lady Bolton and just-born baby as a feast to the hounds, and the new Lord Karstark has no issues with Ramsay. Even though it's fictional, I really feel bad for Winterfell, because over thousands of years the noble Starks have ruled this place, but now it has fallen under the hands of an evil maniac. Anyway, Ramsay is not the first illegitimate heir who is going to rule the north. There are some tales about the son of the king beyond the wall, who ruled Winterfell for a brief time. Somewhere in the northern woods, Brienne and Sansa are resting on their way to Castle Black. Brienne shares news of Arya. Finally, Sansa knows her little sister is alive. After that, Theon says goodbye and shares a touching moment with Sansa, as they have to travel in their separate own ways. Theon heads to the Iron Islands, and Sansa is going to Castle Black. In the Iron Islands, Euron Greyjoy has finally arrived. He meets his brother Balon on a bridge. I'd been waiting for this scene, but I had some doubts because the actor who plays Euron is a bit young for the role, and the show changed the rough appearance of the character. They completely erased my doubts, and the actor did a fine job. Balon knows his brother has come for him. The king manages to get a cut on his brother's face before he is thrown from the top of the bridge. The next morning, they find the king's body. Yara swears vengeance for father's death. As on the Salt Throne, his uncle, the drowned priest, says, "The Salt Throne is not yours to swear upon. It's only up to the king's moot to decide who rules. So get hyped, people. King's Moot is coming." And finally, the Lord of Light has shined on Jon Snow and answered all our prayers. It is the biggest moment of this episode, and fans have been waiting to see this happen for almost 10 months. Sir Davos convinces Melisandre to resurrect Jon, but the recent events have shaken her faith in the Lord of Light. The Red Woman cleans his body and the wounds are severe. She performs the resurrection, but fails. Tormund scoffs and leaves, and so does everyone. And finally, it happens. Jon's eyes open and he gasps with life. Only because of this scene, this episode will remain as my all-time favorite. Okay guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. Like and share this video, and don't forget to subscribe.